proportion. This is tantamount to extortion. You in a room well above your portion. Yes, sir. Must have been the bubble, let's cause a distortion. But with that out of the way, let's keep it a buck. Yes, you in a room with some monsters and fresh out of luck. It's bubble coming.
We're back with another episode of Sundaze with the Clink Room. This is episode 23. Solo episode today. Don't have any guest lines up to join me, but today will be part 2 of the year in review that we'll be doing. So basically we'll be covering my top 10 most anticipated hats that are sent to production and yet to arrive, and I'll be counting down my top 15 hats that landed in 2023. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Before you do, just a reminder, make sure you guys are liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out in the algorithms and pushes me higher in the search results. But before we get started with the year in review part 2 stuff, we'll be covering the hats that are going into production. So it's your last call reminder for these 6 hats before they end their pre-order tonight at midnight. So first off, we have Discovery Dogs by Clinker Fitted Studios, Florida Love by Aurelian and Creaturezoid, To Beer and Not To Beer by Milosh. So right away, Fitted Studios, I think, paid tribute to, I think that's a Russian space exploring dog. It was one of the dogs he sent out in space before they sent humans out there. I don't think it ever made it back, so he was paying homage to the Russian space dog there. Florida Love, kind of a follow-up with Donnie's Love series. I had the California Love with a bear doing a similar pose. That's his Florida version. We saw a couple different iterations of it. So I think it's pretty cool in the fact that it's almost Miami Dolphins type color, so it does scream Florida. The flag is there. Got a couple oranges with a palm tree, and then obviously the gator with the shades. I think that's really interesting. And then Milosh, he's doing a play on To Be or Not To Be. And I guess To Be or Not To Be. Wondering if he should drink with the little vines with the hop in the skull. That's a really interesting hat. It's got the lime green under, kind of Clink signature. So 3 really strong offerings there. Raptor Riders by Clinker Ryan Simmons animation. Light Owl by Win and Billy the Kid, collaboration between Josh Valls and Sawed Off Samurai, aka Steve. Got 2 birds and a goat. So first off, the little gnome riding a raptor. That's an interesting color. It looks like gray on gray. Really cool kind of hat there. The light owl is kind of an owl with a little fade into the night. Almost the landscape there with the little sunlight parts. A lot of blues. Some interesting northern light colors with the little teals and yellows there. And then Billy the Kid by Josh. I think he was like a subway bank robber, something like that. Really old school westerny feel type hat. He's got 2 gunshots in his hat there. Probably, maybe that's the way he died. I'm not sure. Broken horn. A lot of details. I do like how he used a half body there instead of a full body. That way you can maximize the details there. A little money falling out of the bag. But pretty strong offering. If I were to pick one of the 3, I think the most wearable is probably Billy the Kid, the one with the coolest details, and I think the best illustration probably is, I'll give it to Raptor Riders. But not a bad hat here in the bunch. So now we'll be getting into the most anticipated designs. So the reason why I split this up, my list between the hats that landed and the hats that are in production, is that it's kind of hard for me to judge a hat just on the mock-up and rank it over or under a hat that's already landed. So at the end of the day, the hats that landed, you can kind of judge them better, because at the end of it, when it's all said and done, the hats in hand are always going to look better than the hats that are mocked up. So I separated them, and I've took the last couple months, whatever's in production, and I just rated them for most anticipated for me to see them come in and arrive. So that's kind of how I broke it up. and then I broke it up after with hats that landed in 2023. So first and foremost, we're going to look at the most anticipated designs rated by me, 10-1. So number 10, we got COD and Eric DeSaint getting together with Frankie Stein. This one really stuck out to me during Halloween week. They made a couple slight color changes from the original. I think personally for the better. There is a tonal outline that leads me to believe that future different color versions of this, will be in play. I think all in all, it's a really cool design. The pun is right there. Frankie Stein. He's a beer stein. Just a really cool hat. To me, this was the highlight of Halloween week. So that's my number 10 most anticipated hat. Number 9, the Cash Cow by Seamus and Gemini. This was one that I'm kind of mad at myself for because I've always wanted to do a money origami design. They beat me to the punch. So, good for them. This is an awesome idea. I don't know if I would have did a cow per se. I was thinking of doing like a bird, like a goose or something. But all in all, I think they did an amazing job. The execution is really good. The colors really work well off each other. You got the different shades of green, maybe potentially a little metallic green in the middle there. Just a really cool piece, I think. And they did a great job. So that's my number 9 most anticipated hat yet to arrive. Number 8, Bitter Rivals 40. DJ's going to be on my list a lot, but he had these guys separate as their own separate hats. Now they're kind of doing this like Street Fighter, showdown. I thought it was really cool. He even had one where it was like just the weapons and the clouds and the stuff popping out of it. This is just a really interesting series that he's kind of got going on. The Ninja versus the Ronin. I can't wait for this one to arrive. And for him to bring 2 characters that were on separate hats but in the same series together on one hat, I thought that was a really cool idea. Number 7, good friend Sierra Gons, Nelson out of Toronto, did a follow-up. He's silently doing a bunch of different hip-hop themed type hats. This one screams, it says 90s, but it screams almost 80s colorway, maybe even early 90s, late 80s. But either way, it's the tape hitting the CD. So I don't know how many people were around for the tapes transitioning from tape to CD to MP3 player. But yeah, this was an interesting and fun time. Walkmans, and you had to sometimes use that pen to fix the tape, the actual tape coming out of the tape. So yeah, this is just a really fun hat to me. So that takes my number 7 spot. All right, moving forward. Number 6, J Matz with the stocking stuffers. This is just a great idea. It's just a Santa just dunking the little present in the stocking. He's flying. I like a good Christmas hat, man. Some people don't. Some people don't like the seasonality of only being able to wear a hat for a month or 2. But I just think this is a really fun and interesting concept and design. I love it, man. Everything about this hat. I think this is a killer hat. I think when it arrives, people are gonna regret passing on it potentially. But yeah, J Matz, number 6. Number 5, 40's back on the list with Raven Lunatics. This is the first time I've seen 40 use white panel front. It looks like a chrome front. Yeah, and it's a A-level pun. Raven Lunatic. Raven in the straight jacket. I think everything about it is awesome. The little swirly eye saying it's crazy. It's just got so much personality. You can just hear it squawking in your head. But awesome hat. Different kind of style hat I've seen him do. So I think this one is really good. Number 4, 40 again with his Bad Granny. So it's a follow-up to the Sham series. The Sham series is... Sham's one is probably my favorite Clink hat ever. So for him to kind of extend it, I'm super excited. I don't love that the outline is the same color as the tongue, but either way, I just think this is a really, really awesome hat to add to the Shams collection. Kind of got that vice blue with a grander. Just an awesome, awesome hat. Number 3, Hunter Moon by Flanagan Studios. This one, it either came out either shortly before or shortly after Halloween. I think it was shortly after. So it wasn't in the original Halloween week, but it came out after, and I just think it's just an awesome design, just flawless with the execution. Patrick killed this one. Even like the only the top half being illuminated with the moon. He doesn't have that yellow streak or stroke in the grass, and then the back foot is darker. I don't know, just a lot of little details with it. It just makes it such a cool design. He's backlit from the moon. I don't know. He just did a really, really great job. And the navy works real well with that kind of olive green he used. I think this is a flawless design. Number 2, the Triple Crown by Leaf. I love the kind of double entendre he uses with the Triple Crown from baseball, and then the 3 Kings kind of from like the cards. So just real smart way to kind of play off the words there. The 3 Kings have the real gold and golden bats, and they got the little baseball accents. They're wearing baseball gloves. They got the little eye black and the sunglasses. I just think that this is an awesome design. I can't wait for this one to come in. But that's my number 2 hat. And then my number 1 anticipated hat of the year. If I were to break it down, I think the zombie apocalypse is the better of the 2 design, but I'll give the credit to the original apocalypse for kind of setting off this, because there's no 2 without 1. But either way, when I first saw this, I was blown away, man. The way, number 1, the pun is elite. Apocalypse. That's an apoca. And then just the way he pulled off the look of this. There's no black in it, yet it has so much texture and so much personality. Seamus is a really amazing artist, and I think that this hat is flawless. So cool to see the second part of it. The second version is a mono hat as opposed to a 2-tone. But yeah, this is just a great series of hats to me. Just the mushroom clouds and the smoke. I can't wait for this one to come in. I think it's arriving pretty soon, if I heard correctly. But yeah, just a great hat. I put it as a tie. I can't wait for both of these hats to arrive. But yeah, great job to all the clinkers involved. If I missed yours, I apologize, but that's my list for the top 10 most anticipated hats. So now moving forward, this one, I kind of cheated. It's an honorable mention, but this one, I've seen the original one come in, so I didn't feel that it was like easy to kind of rank it. But the reason why it's up here is this was with an additional 5 other hats that were the top 6 sellers in 2023 per Casey. And these are all getting a side patch. So I can't wait for this Clink Room to start implementing side patches. I know not everyone loves the idea of side patches, but for what I've seen and what I understand, they're not going to be used too often, but when they're used, they're going to have a point to them. There's going to be unique ones for certain designs and other ones for different sets, but I just think it's a cool idea. And they remixed the top 6 sellers for 2023 and gave them a different look and a different colorway, and threw on this Clink Classics side patch on it, so you kind of have to earn your spot. So I think that's a cool thing to do. This olive and black version of the Catacombs, it's just a killer hat, and the orange, that kind of hunter orange, really pops off on it. So and on top of that, learning that this was something that this was a place that Casey kind of visited when he was in college. That just adds to the cool factor. So yeah, those are my most anticipated designs. I can't wait for these things to get out of production and sent to you guys. But moving forward, the top 10 designs to land in 2023. So basically what I did was I went back and I looked at the production tracker, and I based these on anything that they said that delivered in 2023. So if it's not completely accurate, I do apologize, but I went off the production tracker. Small note though, I don't own all these hats that landed. Some of these are in my deep regret list for passing on. That's just me. Even I make mistakes sometimes. So I try to do my best to buy as many as I can, but these are the top designs. So number 15, the Sand Snakes by Clink Room. Just nailed this design. It's got that Vegas gold and black, funky green, slime green under. The snake kind of weaves in and out of the design. It's got the eyes. Everything about this hat, he nailed. Yeah, between the negative space of the snake and just that kind of fierceness, I think he did a great job. Milosh coming at number 15 for the Sand Snakes. Number 14, the Skullet by Linker Brad. Brad racing out of Australia, man. He's got that beetroot and again that funky green under. I love this hat, man. It screams the 80s with the mullet, business in the front, party in the back. I don't know. This is everything about his skull too. He nailed this one. It's a really fun and interesting hat to me, and that's my number 14. Number 13 was Smoking Ghost by Clinker Edward C. Ed Weird. This was my first introduction to him. When I first saw the logo mocked up, I didn't think too much of it, but seeing it kind of done and finished, I just think that this hat's a killer design. The way that they figured out how to do the embroidery, it's not just a simple white fill. There's a lot of little textures and shapes within the white, and then the raised smoke puffs. I don't know. This hat's crazy. I missed it. I think there are a couple extras on the InstaShip site, but either way, this hat is a killer hat. Great job, Edward. Number 12, the Swinging Shams by 40. He killed this one. I've never really seen him use this colorway before. It's like kind of like a tan khaki with a pink under, two-tone black. But to see Shams full body, we're always used to seeing Shams' head. This was a really different take on the Shams. So yeah, I like this hat a lot. I like a lot of the stuff that TJ does, but like I mentioned earlier, I think Shams is my favorite character, my favorite design in the Clink Room. So to see Shams back in an alternate form, full body this time, just an awesome hat. Number 11 by JH Manufacturer, Hallowed. This is just a really, really well executed design. Again, another one of those designs kind of like the Ed Weird Smoking Ghost, where you see the mock-up and you don't think too much of it, but when you see it executed and landed as a hat and just see the different textures that Casey was able to get in the hat, and it's just not a simple raised fill. It's blocked off and raised in certain parts and flat in other parts, and then just the vibrant green that they use with the really, really hot like orange color. I don't know. I just really like this hat, and as you can see early in my list, if you have a slime green under, I seem to rank it pretty high. So Hallowed by JH Manufacturer. Number 10, COD and Obvian got together to do Boba Boy. Just a really, really good hat to me. So the Boba Boy is juggling the tapioca. I like how the tapioca or the bubbles on the bottom of the drink aren't like clean shapes. It looks like they're actually in the cup. I don't know. That's just a really cool little trick that Casey was able to implement with the embroidery, and then the different levels of raised here, thick lines. Overall, I just really like this hat. And yeah, I think COD and Ovian killed it. That's my number 10 hat for 2023. Breaking my top 10, the Hot Weilers by 40. 40's back again. Just a really, really good hat to me. Solid black, two-tone with that tan, the red fire with the broken chain, with the Rottweiler. He's running at super high speed. Just shows a lot of personality and the way he kind of structured the art to get the maximum space on the canvas of the hat and to just pack in the detail. There's just so much going on. And then just on head, it's just, you can see it from across the room. Just really, really great job. And one of my favorite dog hats for sure. You could picture like a minor league team using this for a theme night. Just a really, really good hat. Number 8 from Phil Hauser. He's coming in with Rock, Paper, Scissors. I think this was the second bestseller when we did the countdown. Just a really, really solid design. Got the rock rustling the scissors. She was cutting the paper screaming back and almost slapping the rock. They're all doing the motion too. So if you see the paper, he's got the hands extended. The rock's got his little fist, and the scissors got the two pointed fingers. But just a really good design to me and reads really well. So good to see Phil being more active and designing more. But yeah, definitely had to make my list for the top designs to land in 2023. Number 7 was a tie. The reason why I have it as a tie is because they look like they're the same kind of bird, the Whiskey Jack. I'm not sure if Songbird was actually a Whiskey Jack, but either way, I put these two hats as a tie. I couldn't pick a winner, so they are my number 7. So the Songbirds by Flanagan and two Cap Shakur Donnie, and Whiskey Jacks by Matthew Bell. Yeah, just an awesome design both ways. I love hats with birds on them. So to me, they almost look like they're white color or gray colored Blue Jays. But yeah, the Whiskey Jack. Just an awesome pair of hats here. Number 6, COD did War Paint. I'm a sucker for a skull on the hat. So he's got this human skull on this like monkey thing. He's about to stab you with this broken bone staff, black and like a graphite color, granite color with I think it was like a hot orange under. Yeah, he nailed this hat. Everything about this hat is super cool. There's a lot of motion going on, a lot of personality going on in this hat. Just nailed it. War Paint by COD. Number 5, Efra, the Clink Creep. I've seen Efra use this in the past, either as a like a pin or a sticker. I think I have it as a pin. My friend Felix, shout out to Felix, got me this pin a while ago. And then it just showed up. I don't think he entered it. I think it just went in to pre-order right away, and I knew I had to have it. So it's got 2 elements that I love: infrared and volt green on a hat. So that checks a lot of boxes for me. He's got the Clink word mark, got a little bit of like rat fink type feel, art style. Efra just killed this design. Comes in at my number 5 top designs to land in 2023. Number 4 was a collaboration between Marlon and Casey. So they came together and made the MMIW. So it stands for Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women. So they had Marlon had agreed to donate a portion of his commission to this cause that looks to raise awareness and help this cause. And I think Casey and the Clink Room went and matched that donations. A hat with a great design, an amazing cause, and it tells a story. It's got almost like a Banksy art style feel to it. Just an awesome hat. I do hope they bring it back in other colorways potentially so they can raise more money for this cause. But definitely Marlon is one of those collaborators that, very rarely misses. Him and Casey working together and doing multiple designs to bring native and indigenous stories to tell out there. It's just been an awesome sight to see. They've come together and worked in all different types of art styles to tell all different types of stories, and this one was really striking design, and I think they nailed it. So number 4, MMIW. Number 3, the Phantom Fencers. Man, this is a really good design. This is the one that got away. Mine got lost in transit, unfortunately, but 40, just with the Japanese influence stuff, I just think this hat, the way he kept that pose the way it is, maximized, again, very similar to the Hot Weilers hat. He made it a crouching stance, so he got to maximize the horizontal portion of the hat, and that way it allowed him to pump in a lot of different details without crowding the hat. So very wearable navy, red under, that blue, that kind of vice blue just sets it off, and he's got the kendo stick. He's ready to just whack you in the face. But yeah, number 3, Phantom Fencers. Number 2, The Devil in the Details by RW3 and Jason V. When we're reviewing this hat as one of the top sellers, Casey reminded me, or reminded me. I don't even remember if I saw the word devil in the background in below. So the devil is in the details. So it's a great hat. It just looks like that single line fine brush paint jobs they do on those like low riders. I do wish that this was on a darker crown. If it was, it probably would have been my number 1 hat of the year, but Jason V just continues to add to his portfolio. Just a killer hat. The longer you look at it, you start to see different things. But either way, this thing is a beauty. Congratulations, Jason V and RW3, the number 2 design for me to land in 2023. And my number 1 design, kind of cheated, but various artists, I guess. But this was the week of Clink 1.0s to get remixed. Legendary hats here. That Anchorfish is probably one of the top hats of 1.0, but these are all hats and designs that they brought back and brought them into 2.0 land and brought them all with fresh, different colorways. This was one of the only weeks where I think, aside from Clink Vision, where I ordered every single one of the hats that went to pre-order. So this was a 6 for 6 hat drop for me. So it became my number 1 spot. But yeah, that's my list for the top 10 most anticipated designs that are in production for me, and then my top 15 of hats to land in 2023 from Clink Room. Let me know in the comments some of your favorites. Let me know if you don't agree. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Not everyone's going to have the same list for everything, but that's the interesting part. We get to talk about it. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought, and drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back next week with Sundays with the Clink Room. But until next time, I'm signing out. Peace.
Sandwiches, guessing we out of what? Yes, exactly. Sir. These fists are on full at any position. Put the hammer to your head, cause these arms ain't for wishing. Hands up like you praying to the Lord. Yes, why try to catch?